everyone. This is our second webinar, Time to Be Me webinar, sponsored by Body to Soul Nutrition Services. And in my journey of Time to Be Me webinar, I came across this fabulous lady who is influencing this world and inspiring through her spirituality. Okay, she's a spiritual ground coach. So she's a special friend of mine and soul sister. I'm gonna let her introduce herself first, and what do you do? What is your business, and how people can reach you? Welcome, Jesse. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me here, Sophia. I appreciate it. My name's Jesse. I go by Jess Intuitive Angel Healer. That's my business is UR Grounded. You are and then grounded, and it was kind of a play on words when I made it, because it's like, you know, you're grounded, and then your parents telling you you're grounded. So I'm 39 and I am here in Colorado. I am a holistic spiritual grounding coach, intuitive angel healer, Reiki practitioner. I am a healer of energy, and I help clear people's energies so they can move forward in their life, and also help deliver messages that we turn a blind eye to, because a lot of times our grief can overpower our spirit connection. So that's where I come in. I get to come in and deliver the message to help people. And it's usually just simple words that I share to people, just getting people kind of like what you do, tune back into their spiritual self. And most of us are tuned into our ego self. That's how society programs us, unfortunately. So I am here to spread the word of love and light, and help people not struggle so hard to find happiness. So that's a little bit about what I do.
Awesome. So let me ask you about what is your eye-opening moment? When did you start this, and what was your focus? How did you, what is your greatest spiritual awakening?
Well, I would say that my spiritual awakening, it happened about 4 years ago. I've pretty much been on a spiritual awakening my whole life. I've always been on the quest for knowledge. I knew I didn't quite fit in, and I've never had normal stories to tell like other people. But when I was in a 10-year toxic marriage, and it was very mentally abusive, spiritually, physically numbing, anything, it was not fun. And that's actually what caused me, is when I finally decided I had enough one day, I broke away from that. And when I did that, it caused me to, because when you're in a toxic relationship, you either have a choice to go back or to go forward. And then a lot of bad people, a lot of bad energy comes around you, usually to help you get recruited to the dark side. And my angel said, no, she's not going to the dark side. You can't have her. And so I started seeing, because I went through a really bad, my divorce lasted a year. It was like a Lifetime movie. I got my kid kidnapped to 2 different states away, unenrolled, put in a whole nother school. Yeah. And she was in kindergarten, and my ex literally, so he could get me up there, literally took my kid out of school. And obviously, if you're married still, there's a thing called parents can't kidnap their own kids, which is strange. But I sat there for a month, and this month of me sitting there going out of my mind, waiting to try to figure out how to get my kid back from this crazy person who just didn't want to let me go. So what I did is, the angels start activating you, and I feel like that's what happened. I started seeing 777. I've always seen 111, 1111, make a wish, but when I started seeing this so much that I started seeing 711 twice a day for like 2 weeks. And you can't write that off to a coincidence anymore. So I started, it's funny, the universe kind of got me on the path of, what does this mean? Am I going crazy? Why do I keep seeing all these repetitive numbers? And it's like they're talking to me and they're following me. And my background's in the medical field. So now I'm like, that's not normal. And I start looking, and one day I get down on the rabbit hole of the internet looking for things on Instagram. And all of a sudden I get turned on to Oracle cards. Had no idea what they are. Then I start going to a life coach. And then I find out about spiritual life coaching is a thing. I knew life coaching was a thing, but I didn't know spiritual life coaching was. I just
Going
thought
deep.
priests and preachers could do it.
Right.
And I was like, wow, I can do this. So then I got this overwhelming urge to just create my business, that I'm going to do this. And when I even opened up my post office box, the number was 777s on the mailbox. So I knew it was all divinely guided. And that was my biggest eye-opening moment, I would say, is angel numbers. And then it all kind of unfolded there. In July, I am celebrating my 2-year anniversary of UR Grounded, which is
Wow,
pretty cool. So
congratulations.
thank you. I'm pretty, that's definitely, I was at my worst point, and that's what I like to tell people is, this all came to me at my worst point in my life. I was alone. My daughter was taken from me. I had some person who was trying to do everything they could to break me. They made me lose my job, almost my mind, and everything. And I feel like the angels came in and said, no, you've learned your lesson. That was a karmic lesson, but we're not going to let you fall that way. And they literally picked me up, and the whole experience, I had so many divine interventions through the whole thing. That was crazy. So that would definitely be my eye-opening moment. So if you guys ever have one of those, please, I encourage you to follow it, because that's your intuition. That's your angels trying to help you get out of a bad situation. So
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you picked yourself up and you saw your vision. So that's how you find this business for yourself to
yeah.
help people. Awesome.
And I also found it just, because it helps me to make sure I have to work on my stuff every day. I can't skip it. And it's funny. That's kind of also why I made the business.
Absolutely, absolutely. I just wanted to hug you right now, so tight, because I feel so emotional
Yeah.
by that
Thank
that
you.
story. So, what is your daughter is with you right now? She's with you.
Yeah, it's funny. This happened. 2017 was not my year, and everything had to break and crumble and get super worse before it got super better. And for all this that I went through, my daughter is actually living with her dad now, because there was a level of, she needed her dad. I just needed him to get his claws out of me and let me live my life, because I never wanted to interrupt a father-daughter relationship. But no, strangely enough, I had a moment where he was just relentless, and I spoke with my spirit one day, and I said, you know what, I'm going to let you go with your dad, because your dad's, you're supposed to be with him in life. So we share it that way. Like she comes over on the weekends now, and she stays with him during school, and it's a better trade-off, and it makes everything a lot better. But you're like, how could you do that? And that is the beauty of spirit and growth. And because if you would have talked to me about 3 years ago when I was going through this, there was like, my heels were dug in. I did not say very nice things. And then I went through a whole awakening to understand, you know what? Learn the lesson, let go of the energy, and live your life, because you know what, regardless, it's her father, and just leave me alone.
Right.
Let me stay in my bubble, you stay in your bubble, we'll share our kid, because your kids need both your energies. You're both put in your life for that. So
That's very true.
but yeah, that's how I overcame it, is by having faith that even though it didn't, it feels weird, it feels weird saying it, but you know what? It's the right thing. And now it's his time. I had my daughter for quite a few years before I did let her go back over. And you know, he had to get the hint like, hey, you can't push me around. But after I did that, things are awesome now, and she's happy, he's happy, I'm happy. I
Right.
move on with my life. So
That must be hard for you to keep going back, keep seeing that person around you, because that negative energy may affect you, but you are being strong and you kept going. That's the big thing.
yeah,
You
I
keep
put my
your
blinders on. Put my blinders on.
true, yeah,
That's what I have to do. Earmuffs and
negative thought.
blinders.
That's right. Your negative energy, don't let them around. That's the great thing that you're doing. So what is the one thing that you are very proud of yourself?
Um, I would say that I'm proud that I have accomplished to get to where I am, because not only, you know, I'm a spiritual grounding coach, but I did go to school and I got an associate's degree, 30 credits away from my bachelor's degree. I just don't feel the need to fulfill it right now because, you know, I'm not using it. So, but all the experience and just I'm happy that I've overcome my wounds, and I'm able to share my message and my story now to heal other women, because there's such a need in this world uh, for women to understand their value and their worth and stop living somebody else's hopes and dreams to get love. That is my biggest thing. I hate it because I did it for so long and I'm still really young. But I feel
Yes,
like I wasted my whole life trying to get acceptance from people that were never going to give me acceptance to begin with. So why did I
right,
try so hard? Because in
right.
the end, none of those people are in my life. And
Matters.
here I am, much happier, by the way, because I don't have all these ridiculous standards to live up to every day. So
Absolutely. That's the power of entrepreneurship. You find your own path
yeah,
to show the world that they can also do it,
yeah,
right? So
exactly.
that's awesome. You're doing great, and I wish you all the best. And you're doing great by yourself. I mean, look at you.
Thank
You've
you.
been through that harshness with your kid. Not only you, but with your, piece of heart.
Yeah,
So it must be hard, but negative energy, they can be they can affect you. You are human, we are human, and they can affect you. So ignoring and getting all positive vibe around you is the best way. And
exactly.
you're helping women.
Thank
So
you.
that's good. And who is your coach that you can reach out whenever you feel demotivated? Because you probably have so much emotion going on, and you hear somebody's story, they reach out to you, which is maybe relatable to yours. So how do you manage, besides the self-care, and who do
Yeah.
you reach out to?
Um, so, you know, it's funny. I have a very wide network and it really depends. Sometimes I have my friend Michelle from I've known since I was 11. I don't have very many friends like that, but I've also big on not emotionally dumping on people. I just had to make a rule in my Pisces group because somehow Pisces zodiac people have decided somewhere, because we're sensitive, loving creatures, that you should be able to go around and just shoot your emotions off to people like a cannon and bleed all over everyone who didn't
Mm,
do anything to you. And I really didn't think, I thought I could handle it. And I finally had to put up a boundary and say, look, y'all are triggering me because you're not coming in here to do anything but talk about negative things. It's okay to get support. It is not okay to just verbally vomit on people and go, I feel better, and then walk off. And then that person, because that's what I do. I touch someone, and there's a meme. It's like you touch someone, and each time the cartoon touched someone, he got black, because I suck up your negative energy. But
Right.
what I've learned as a spiritual grounding coach, and this is what I've done as an empath my whole life. That's why I feel terrible when I forget my boundaries and my cleansings and all that. But I have to put up my boundaries. I have to put up my protections, and I have to go do something with that energy, whether it's touching a rock. And it sounds, I used to think it was silly, but go touch a tree. Half the time I sit and think, what emotion, before I get into my head about my emotions and how I'm feeling, I ask, is this my emotion first of all? Because I got 95,000 people that plug into me because of, I'm out there on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really have to balance myself and speak with I speak with my spirit. I have my guy here. Um, he is my spirit coach, the biggest one that I have, because me and him are very similarly attuned to spirit, and he gives me the advice that I need, but then I have a whole network of women and different coaches that I go to. So unfortunately, I don't just have one, it's who spirit directs me to. And what's even stranger is I'll have people like yourself just put in front of me to reflect something of me, and then that's the way that I work with coaching. So I don't know, spirit directs me to different coaches, I guess. I don't have one particular one, but I feel, and I am a big person on that you need a coach.
Right.
You need someone who is going to pick out your flaws. And if I didn't have that, I would find it.
Right.
But not pick out your flaws, but help you creatively turn that energy into, because a lot of clients say, I don't need that. Or the biggest thing healers do is, I don't need everyone. I don't need anyone. Yes, you do. You
Yes, you
always
do.
need a
Mm-hmm.
mentor. So I am very
Absolutely.
big on that. I just have a big variety of who I'm going to pick from.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, there are somebody who said, "Oh, I'm so sorry for you," as a listener, and there are somebody who said, "No, you can do it. You can overcome that pain." So
Yeah.
you have to choose, wisely
Yeah.
your mentor for sure. So, whenever you feel very, deep and pain, do you cry? Do you what do you do?
So I have crystals, because I have a lot of PTSD and a lot of anxiety, just from my life. And then I have, spirit talking to me, and then I have other people's emotions. So I have a lot of amethyst, grounding stones, I work with the different chakras. We store all of our emotions in our sacral chakra. If you actually do dances, bending, twist, in that area, and you're bending that area, you're actually helping release that energy.
Mhm.
So yoga is good for that. That's why yoga is so good at balancing you, because stretching, you don't have to go on a 50-mile hike, or go run a marathon to do exercise. You just need to simply stretch, and you need to get in contact with nature. It's the biggest thing. And if you don't have to sit out there forever. You can go sit on your porch, sit in the sun for 15 minutes. Let the sun hit your third eye. That activates that chakra, helps energize it. When you're doing Reiki, that's the energy that you're pulling, is the sun energy, the chi from the sun.
Ultraviolet.
And
Hmm.
that's how you're helping revive all your chakras. So I'm very big on listening to music, listening to meditation, whatever I need to do, because I know that holding all this negative energy in is going to make me sick. When I was brand new at doing this, I did it wrong. I did a distance healing wrong.
Hmm.
And it was kind of funny, because I said, I'm going to take all this person's pain, all of it. And this person was a very tortured soul. Let's just say I didn't feel good for 2 weeks. And man down, I was not having it. So I
Yeah.
learned after that, you need to flush out that energy, and you don't need to be a sponge. You need to be a vessel, so it can filter through, not absorb into you. It's
Right,
two
right.
different things. So
Yeah, positive energy is contagious,
yes.
and yeah, it can be a good healer. So what advice do you give to somebody who gone through this pain? And I know you already talked about that, but especially to those who are in trauma or who are going through this pain, what advice would you give to stay focused and having good vibes around you?
Well, first you got to get your mindset on it, because you can do anything you want to do. I read this book, and it made me cry, because this is the biggest problem for women. And it said, it was a book about quitting your day job and working for yourself. And she was talking about her mom, a memory of her mom's obviously bipolar, and um, she had to be her counselor at 5. And she said that my mom was so talented and she'd play the piano with me, but she always had a touch of melancholy in her.
Mhm.
And the only thing that held my mom back was her, and her fears. And that's the biggest thing, is that we hold our fear holds us back. Fear of not being enough, fear of being too much.
Mhm.
Fear is one of the biggest things. And then we dream about it, and we can't ever just get enough confidence in ourselves to make that, because we got the dream, but then we're like, and then we never get the energy. That's the second thing. So
Right, right.
I want you to know that you can do it. If you're living in a really bad situation right now, coming from the girl who looked at her counselor and she said, how long are you going to deal? This was at the end. And she said, how long are you going to deal with your ex obviously abusing you? And I said,
Mhm.
I'm going to do it until, because it was all about my daughter. I said, I'm going to endure this because of my daughter. I will just sit and be tortured for the rest of my life as long as she's happy. And I remember telling her this. And then I had my awakening moment that, what? When I looked at my daughter when we were fighting and arguing in the house and she was trying to find a place to hide from us,
Mhm.
I said, you know what? I can't do this. Whatever happens, I'm going to go and I'm going to take that leap, and it can't be any worse than what it is right now. And I mean, I got done dirty. I don't have enough time to I
Right.
have a very colorful story that happened to me after that moment, but you know what? I stuck through it, and I had blind faith. I mean, blind faith, because I don't even know where my faith was when I was at the uh, Salvation Army at uh at 39, 37 years old, and I'm because my ex kicked me out and I have nowhere to live, and I work at a doctor's office, and I'm supposed to go to work the next day. Like, what do you
Mhm.
do?
Right.
So don't let any amount of shame, fear, or anything, if you don't like what's going on, how your world is, leave it. Stop dreaming about it and put that foot forward, because your angels are never going to take anything away. And if anything, they're going to applaud you and make a magical road for you. So never feel like you're stuck, because it's never the case. You're only stuck if you believe you're stuck. So.
Absolutely. Believing in yourself is the key. And, because everybody has a fear, everybody go through that same phase. We are women and we have that blocks all our way. But having a faith in yourself and believing yourself that you can fly is the key, because every woman has a story. Everybody has a story to tell the world that you are enough. Enough is enough.
Yes.
So good, good, good. Um, so whenever you feel, like you are overwhelmed with the call that you're getting from your clients, like all the negative, how do you keep yourself positive? Because they
Um,
reach out to you because they have a pain and because they need you, right? So how do you keep yourself moving?
Well, I don't, like I said, I don't make myself a sponge. I make myself a vessel. So I don't attach myself to all the negative that I absorb. I kind of am like a plant. I absorb it, but then I filter it into something else. And that's what crystals will do. I also listen to a lot of binaural beat music, and it's different megahertzes of music, and what it does is it subconsciously programs uh, the negative out of your head, basically.
Yeah.
and and you don't have to sit, with you. I actually have learned to meditate while I'm walking around doing things. I don't know how I do it, but I don't have time to sit, and my world just doesn't create the environment for me to just sit and be quiet. So I can put my headphones on and walk around outside, and it does the same thing for me. But I'm big into meditations. Books, reading is a big thing, expanding your mind. Even if you do that for at least 30 minutes a day, you're actually opening up your third eye, expanding your knowledge, and that's going to help clear up your crown chakra, which is where spirit messages come through. So
Absolutely.
it's all about balancing yourself, and we really need to stop taking life so seriously, because what we're complaining about is usually for our better good anyways, and we just have a hard time as humans accepting it. But if we stay present in the moment and stop worrying about our past because it's already over, and we are focused on our future, you're not going to go wrong.
That is very true. Our past doesn't determine our future for sure, because you always look forward, you don't look back. So that's good meat right there. And what do you do for your self-care? What is your daily regime? Regime would be
So I would
every day.
say, getting up in the morning, I make sure I say what I'm grateful for. That's my biggest thing. Before I do anything. And then I like to listen to, meditations, yoga, stretching, just something to make me feel good. And I like to sit on my porch, especially in the morning, and watch the sunrise or hear the birds, um, and listen to nature. I went fishing yesterday and hiking, and that was just amazing. All the wildlife that came up and said hi. So yeah, I like to be in nature. That's the biggest self-care uh, regimen that I can do, is to make sure I'm connected some way, somehow to nature.
Absolutely. For right now, especially in quarantine, if you even if you go outside for 15 minutes, you feel so energized.
Yes.
So being in nature for sure, you get all the energy, positive energy around you. You feel like you're alive. So yeah, that's a great tip. So and I have a list of question here. I'm trying to, cover all the topic so that I'll not be missing anything. Tell us, what topic are you going to talk about today?
Spiritual health.
All right, go for it. Take it away, my friend.
So, spiritual health, the biggest thing, I feel it's important to have a spiritual regimen. I never used to. I actually was atheist at one point because I didn't understand. And all my grandmother was born of a Church of Christ Christian, and I think my grandma was Presbyterian or something. But I was always told that every religion was, other than Church of Christ Christian, was wrong, and they were born in Abilene, Texas, so God bless them. They're both passed, but it was just a very closed mindset. And so my journey to spirituality, I always believed in, a higher power, but I didn't believe in the little man upstairs that they said with the cane. In the beard, I didn't understand that. And then, when I listened to a lot of other things, there's just a lot of hate with it. So I found that that's why I've came to spirituality, because it's all together. People look at me funny because I say, in my world, Buddha Jesus, they're all poker buddies in my world. And they're like, how can that be? Well, because spirituality it's all around us, you know. It doesn't have to have a label on it. And I don't put labels on it, but that's why people have a hard time having spiritual health and keeping a daily regimen, because they want to believe in something. But when they start believing in something, people tell them that's wrong. And then they're like, okay, because society has taught us to be people pleasers. And if society says that it's wrong, then you were like, okay, I have to go with what's right, until you get, pulled out of that and the ego of it, and understand that spiritual health isn't about praying. It isn't about sitting there in meditation for 8 hours. It isn't about any of that. It's about mind, body, and soul. It's about the connection of keeping all that healthy. America is on so many medicines. My background is in the medical field. I work for many specialty doctors, including infectious disease, and hypertension doctors and nephrology. And the biggest thing with my patients is they would have just ate better and fed their body and soul what it needed, versus all these medicines. And I've seen somebody become diabetic and then they're all of a sudden taking 50 pills, when really I've learned, if you can clear out that negative energy in you and you can keep your spiritual health balanced, you'll have so much more of a productive life. You won't have to spend all your money on those surgeries. You can start clearing all this out so you don't have to take all these medicines. And that's the biggest thing about your spiritual health. People don't have a regimen. People think it's about going to church and sitting in a building on Sunday, and that's why I totally didn't understand. I used to make fun of people, and I admit it. I have made fun of vegetarians, vegans, and guess who is one now? It's hilarious, because that's why I've learned on my path, you don't make fun of people, because you'll become what you make fun of. And I am very happy to be vegetarian now. I'm almost vegan, but I like eggs, so that's where I'm having my my cutoff. But spiritual, like, that's the thing though, is people are judged. There's so much judging in this world, and people are afraid of spirituality because of the events that have happened in America and the ignorance. People are afraid to express it, and it's okay. I really dream of a world that we can all get together, and it doesn't matter what we choose to have faith in, as long as we choose to put our energy into helping people, through our faith. That's the biggest thing with it. So when people are not, I feel like if you look at half of society and all this ignorance is going around right now, if you really take a moment and see where those people's spiritual faith and health is, because it's not there. Their ego is flying so high right now, and I'm personally going through that. I've been on a spiritual awakening now, working on it every day for 4 years, and it's something that you have to devote to. If you can devote yourself an hour to go watch TV, your favorite episode of whatever, why can't you take an hour out for yourself to know where your mind is? Because you would stop being so explosive and volatile and reactive to the people around you. But that's why if you see these people that are going crazy throwing McDonald's fries at people, that's because they were taught such a world of aggression. And that's my biggest message to people. I was taught to live through aggression, because if I didn't live through aggression, I wasn't going to make it in my world. But now I'm on the complete opposite. Now I'm learning how to not be aggressive, to send you love and light versus to send you a bunch of hate bombs. And that's the biggest thing that society has a hard time with, is taking that extra 5 seconds before we react. We react, we don't respond, and we don't think about what's coming out of our mouth. And now that I'm on this spiritual awakening, I am like, wow, some people I can't even talk to because I just hear, and sometimes it's just, it hurts so bad. Like, why can you have so much hate in your heart? And that is why I really hope that people start know that it's, it's not a retreat. People think it's self-love, self-care, spirituality. They make it all Hollywood and everything, and it's not. It's something that's like brushing your teeth. You need to do it every day. I don't care who you believe in, as long as they're, on a good purpose, and you've got a good purpose and you want to move that forward, you need to put spiritual health in. You need to make sure you're checking on that as well as your cholesterol and everything else, because this is important. Your spiritual health, on what level that is going to help you heal the other things. So that's
Absolutely.
my what I have to say about my spiritual health.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that,
Yeah.
Meat and Balls. It was really awesome. And I'm sure this message is going to help a lot of people out there, who are going through this phase. Of course, aggressiveness can be, bad if you continue doing that. But for breaking out the rules and saying, hey, I'm not tolerating this anymore, that can be seen as aggression. But you have to have that aggression in your life once in a while to break out that wall and just go for your life, to choose for better, to choose better for yourself and for your loved ones.
Yeah.
So
it's all about boundaries.
absolutely, boundaries. And when you talk about God, I also believe that God is only one. We named it differently, just like we named our languages. So to me, God is someone who put me in discipline. Every day I believe in God. I pray God every single day, not only once a week. So I completely agree with you, Jesse. Thank you so much for agreeing to sharing your beautiful story with us. And this is yeah, thank you so much. And I hope every audience out there enjoy our webinar plus interview. So see you out there. Thank you. I'll see you next time, Jesse.